Hey
Hey
everybody,
guys.
welcome to Hey Hernan, how's it going? Welcome
Time.
everybody to Hump Day Hangouts. This is number 96 and Hernan's here. So Hernan, take it away. No, just kidding. uh, but first of all, I think we wanted to get the important stuff out of the way. Today is National Beer Lovers Day. So I thought I'd start things off here
Oh, you
quickly.
bastard.
So cheers. Not bad. Got a session IPA out of upstate New York. It's good
I'm
stuff.
refraining. I didn't even know it was National Beer Day until about an hour ago, and I was like, woohoo, I'm going to start drinking early. But with the 2.5 hours of webinars coming up, I decided I better not until afterwards. So
Yeah.
I assure you, though, as soon as this webinar is over, I'm going straight. We've got a local brewery. I'm
Ooh.
going down to the brewery and sitting my ass at the bar, not leaving for several hours.
Gotcha. Well, I played it safe. I got a session, so this is like 4.5%. So basically, not much. So, anyways, moving right along. We got a few announcements today. So after we say hello to everybody, we'll get into that. But Hernan, how is it going, Hernan?
Hey guys. Hey everyone. It's really good to be here. That's what I get to jump really late on the call and wanted to say hi. But anyways, it's really good to be here.
Awesome. Marco, what's up, man?
Man, it's warm, it's sunny, it's beer day, and I can't drink.
Oh man.
I might though.
Sure,
All right.
you can.
Well, you know, me and Bradley will pick up the slack. So.
You know, you need that can-do attitude, Marco.
Yeah. Pick up my funeral bills, right?
Oh man, Bradley, how's it going?
Good, man. I'm just looking forward to having my beer. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, you can live vicariously through me for a couple hours. Let's see. First up, we've got some. Oh, that's right, SERP Space, man. So cool one. I'm gonna be posting some stuff here once I stop talking. But we've got a special discount from SERP Space. So this includes not just IFTTT networks, but also link building if you order them together. All right. So that's kind of an important thing. So if you wanted to do some link building on a network, now would be a good time. So I'm going to post that in there with the information. Okay, it's just a 48-hour coupon. If you can go over to SERP Space, and I'll give you the links, and you can get your IFTTT network. So this applies to all, single tiers, full 2-tier networks, and then link building on top of that. So pretty sweet discount. Right after this webinar, we're going to be going into the masterclass like usual. But in this case, we've opened it up, and you all are invited to join the masterclass. I'll also post the link to that in case you haven't seen it. You're going to want to be there. It's Simon. I'm going to let actually Bradley or Hernan talk real quick about this.
Yeah, it's Simon Dadia, the creator of Browsio, which is, I use about 5 or 10% of what Browsio is capable of, but that 5 or 10% that I use is incredibly important to me and to my business, which is, and I don't even know most of the things that it does. So we're fortunate enough to have Simon on today from 4:30 until 6 p.m. for the masterclass webinar, which we're opening up to the public, and he's going to come give a demonstration of Browsio 3.0, which was just released this week, and go through all the functionalities and all the stuff that I don't even know that it does that I know is incredibly powerful. So I'm actually really looking forward to this myself. I've been using Browsio for probably close to a year now. And some of our virtual assistants use it as well, so it's really important. I'd like to get to know the software better, and who better to learn it from than the developer himself. So everybody's welcome to attend that today. I highly encourage that you stop by and take a look at it. Even if it's not something you're ready for at the moment, I would encourage you to check it out so that you understand what the tool is, and maybe when later on down the road when you are ready for it, you'll understand why it's so important and critical to have in your business.
Awesome. All right, and then we wanted to mention, for those of you who, we had a couple of people who've been asking about our RYS done-for-you services. So we're going to put the link in there. Obviously, you can find out some more about it. But if you're a subscriber of ours, we're going to send out a special discount. So that's not something we're going to post publicly. But if you're interested in that, you'll get it in the email. And if you're not sure if you're on the email list, just say something here, and we'll point you in the right direction.
Cool. All right, anything else?
Yeah.
I think,
I just want to add, guys, Video Powerhouse. I know that you're hearing that there's this embed network, that embed network. We're putting a lot of time and effort and just sweat into making this the most powerful embed network, bar none. Okay, there's a lot of I'm not going to. I won't even share in the mastermind what the type of stuff that we're going to inject into our networks to just get everything juiced up and going. But if you're not in there right now, I will suggest that you get in there at the lower price, because once this is all scaled out, the price will be going up because of all the time, effort, and money that is going into development and into scaling the networks into the niches. But you guys know. And I hope that everyone else here knows that when I get into something and when Semantic Mastery puts their name on something, you can bank on it that it's going to work the way that it's supposed to. So I just wanted to add that. If you're not in it, fine, don't. But for those of you, especially video people, and by the way, we're going to be doing map embeds also, but video, you know how powerful embeds are. Just imagine what Semantic Mastery can do for your videos.
Yeah, and we got a full team now working on building that out and really further development. And we've got a coder on it. We've got several builders on it. We've got Marco involved. I mean, so we've got a full-on team, 6 or 7 people working on this now, guys. So we're really trying to scale over the next couple months and make it incredibly powerful because it's something that really got put on the back burner for a while, but now we've ramped it back up. So we certainly encourage you to get in now while you can. But other than that, I guess we can get right into questions. Am I right?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. I'm going to grab the screen. And I'll zoom in, guys, because I know that makes it easier for you all to see. So give me 1 second. Okay, cool. Is that good enough? Can you guys see that fairly well? Besides Adam's smiling face?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, here we go. Let's start at the bottom with Ryan. Ryan says, hey, Bradley, I find a lot of expired domains that have great relevant backlinks, no spam, but the archive shows they were used as a PBN at some point or had Chinese content. Since the backlink history is clean, would there be any risk to redirecting those domains to a Tier 1 IFTTT property, or would it be best to avoid them completely? Well, I can tell you I usually avoid those, Ryan. They may still have some juice. If the backlink profile is clean, they may still be valuable domains. The problem is typically if you see that they had been built as a PBN and then they were dropped, or likewise if they had Chinese content on them and then they were dropped, which, you know, that's how you picked it up again. A lot of the times it's because it had been de-indexed. That's the only reason why it was dropped. Because if it had a clean backlink profile and it was not de-indexed, then why would the PBN, whoever owned it as a PBN, why would they drop it, or why would the Chinese company? Now, that's not always the case, but more often than not, it is. And you won't really be able to tell that unless without purchasing a domain and then submitting it to Search Console and then looking for the manual spam action notification or message within Search Console. And that's really the only way to tell. Now, if it was a recently dropped domain, or one, you know, like one that was in auction, for example, or one that had just recently been dropped, if you do a site operator search on it in Google, you can sometimes still see some indexed links. And if that's the, or, you know, indexed pages or posts. And if that's the case, then it hasn't been de-indexed. But most of the time when you're buying stuff through domains that you found or scraped with blue chip backlinks, they've been dropped for some time. And so there won't be any indexed pages anyways. And so you can't tell whether it's de-indexed or not that way by doing by checking for indexed pages, because it's been dropped for so long that it's fallen out of the index. But there's no way to really tell without purchasing a domain and then actually submitting it to Search Console and looking to see if there's a manual spam action notification. All right. So typically I just avoid those altogether. But if you happen to if you have some of them, then yeah, I would certainly not point those directly to a money site. I would point them to a buffer site, but I would still probably go ahead and submit those rebuilt sites if you're rebuilding them, whether you're rebuilding the old content or building a PBN, which, you know, putting a blog on it. If you're just doing a redirect, you don't have to worry about all that. But what I would suggest at least doing is taking a domain like that and putting at least the homepage content on it. You could just do the archive.org from way back. And what I mean by that is, like, go back before it was a PBN or before there was Chinese content. Just download the archive file, upload the index.html file that you pulled, and then submit it to Search Console through a Persona account anyways, to check to see if there's any spam actions, manual actions taken against the domain. Okay, that's what I would do first, and it'll only take you a few minutes to do that, right? And then if it comes back clean, and sometimes you got to wait 24 hours or whatever in Search Console for you to see a notification. But if it comes back clean, then try to force the index, which is what I'll do. I'll submit it to, when you submit to Search Console, it'll usually index anyways. But if it's indexed, if there's no manual spam action and then it indexes, then you know it's a clean domain, at least clean enough to be used to point to a buffer. And you could just do a redirect at that point, or since you already have the index.html page uploaded, you could just go in and hack a link into that page itself. That's entirely up to you how you want to do it. But that's how I would do it, because I personally don't like to use any kind of manual spam action domains in my link stream anyways. So even if it's 2 hops from my money site, I still don't want to inject something that dirty into my link stream, if that makes sense. Hernan, what's your take on that? Is Hernan here?
Yeah, but he's having some browser issues, I think.
Okay. Well, how about you,
I'm
Mark?
trying to roll back the Chrome because the latest version is hammering on my end and his end pretty bad.
What about Marco? Is he still here?
No,
Marco,
yeah,
you
I'm
want
still
to
here.
on that?
No, I agree totally. You just have to be really careful.
Yep.
That's it. Just due diligence, and then but I would say they could still be used. Just we've always taught launder the juice, but Google is going out further and further. That's why you have to see if there's a manual action and see. So eventually it might catch up. It might hit your although it could stand it. Your tier 1 could stand that.
Yeah. Tier
being
1
redirected to it. Sure.
Yeah.
It won't really hurt you, and it won't push it through unless it's do follow, right? Then you might get into some problems.
Hello.
But that's why I was saying, Ryan, I just typically just avoid those domains, because you really just don't know until you've purchased it and done the various steps that I just mentioned. And for that's just a lot of additional work just to test to see if the domain's got any, if it's worth anything, Okay, Mark says, hi guys, hope you're well. Got a title tag question for you. Let's say I have a lead gen property called Roofer Pro Dallas, and the keyword I want to rank in maps for is Roofers Dallas. If my title tag was Roofers in Dallas, Roofer Pro Dallas, is this over optimized? I would say yes, Mark. I know that would be competitive, but I have one link or one like this, but in a smallish town that is not too competitive. What advice would you give for my title tag? Does it play an important role in ranking the maps? Thanks. Yes, it does. But what I would do, see, that's the brand name, Roofer Pro Dallas. And so that's a lot of the times why, you might be able to get away with that one. Because this is the brand name and there's slightly different terms, I would still kind of shy away from that if possible. What I would probably do in this situation is just do, if the keyword is roofers in Dallas, I would go roofers in Dallas and input the phone number. And then that would be it. I would just omit the brand name from the title tag. That's what I would do. And again, that's only because it's those are 2 very closely related terms, like roofer and roofers. I would, again, I would think that would be over optimized. It's interesting because I found with YouTube videos recently, with adding a second keyword into the title tag, it's actually gives it a little bit more of a boost. But with websites, I don't typically like to do that. So, I mean, usually the format that I use for all title tags is I do the keyword, which is, the primary keyword plus city if it's a local term. Then I'll do a separator. I don't use the pipe symbol anymore, though, guys. I think it's kind of a spam signal. I don't have any data to back that up. I just don't use it anymore. I just use hyphens now. But let's just go through this real quick. And then I'll do the phone number. And then I do the brand name. But again, in a case like where the brand has the keyword in it, which is, that happens a lot, especially with contractors, then what I'll do is I'll just omit this last part of it and just do the keyword plus the phone. Okay? But, you could test that if you have more than one property that you could test something like that on, or a couple different keywords, a couple different pages, landing pages. You could do one landing page the way that I just mentioned, like this, and then another landing page like the way you have it here with the brand name appended at the end, and see if you get better results with one over the other. That's what I would do, is kind of test you on the same site. You know what I mean? So if you've got 2 different landing pages, that's what I would do, is kind of test against it. But personally, I would say that looks a little bit over optimized there. It's almost like stuffing the title tag, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Hey, Bradley, I just posted something in the chat the way that I would break that up just to include everything.
Okay, I got it. Roofer Pro Dallas Roofers. Yeah, you could do that too. Even that, yeah, Roofer Pro dash Dallas Roofers. Again, you might still be a little over optimized. For websites, I'm just real cautious about that, guys. For YouTube videos and stuff, I don't care so much anymore, but you know, I would test it and see. Remember, if you're going to make a change, Mark, you can change the title tag. Just once you change the title tag, leave it alone for about 3 weeks. Before, you know, and then assess what movement has occurred after about 3 weeks has passed, and then see if you're improved. Great. If you didn't move at all, well, then it didn't do any harm, but it didn't do any good. If you dropped a spot or two or whatever, then you know to go back and change it again. All right. You don't want to do too many changes too quickly. Title tag is pretty damn important because that's the first thing that Google sees when it hits your page. That's the first thing the bots see is your SEO title. So when you make a change like that, you don't want to really do anything else on that page until it's had time to settle in, which is about a 3-week period. So Henry says, hey guys, just bought Content Kingpin, checked it out already, and I must say it is really another great product you guys produced, and I'm sure it can help me a lot with my business. Thank you for that. Let's +1 that. What I would like to know is, from where did you get the traffic to the curated content? Do you still have to promote the content by building backlinks, social signals, and other stuff, or do you get the traffic just naturally from long-tail organic placement on Google? Well, that's a great question, Henry. Obviously, if you've been following us for any length of time, you know that IFTTT SEO is really the foundation that we build upon for all SEO activity. And so essentially Content Kingpin is our content production method that we use to produce content to feed the blog, which feeds our syndication networks, which produces the SEO, the off-page and the authority building, the social signals, all of that. So Content Kingpin is a way to help us produce that content efficiently and for a much better price than just, you know, hiring out pure writer, like just content writers. Curating is more efficient and it's cheaper. It's more cost effective. And so what I do is I blog from the site using curation methods that are taught in Content Kingpin, and then they get syndicated out via IFTTT. And that's pretty much the foundation. Now, obviously, if you're in a competitive industry, you may need some additional off-page SEO work to actually get, you know, accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. And that's where press releases come in. If it's local sites, you got citations, you've got RYS Academy stuff that you can do. You know, you've got external link building, private link networks, private blog networks. There's so many different other things that you can do. But again, it all starts with content blogging regularly, using your blog as your link building method, right, with an IFTTT network. And that's pretty much the core strategy that we teach, guys. Okay. So if you're blogging with curated content from your main money site, then you're already without any additional work. I mean, you got to set the network up or have somebody set it up for you. You can hire us to do it or hire a virtual assistant, which I certainly recommend you do one of those instead of doing it yourself. But then you just start blogging consistently from your money site, and that's going to really help to boost your SEO. Next is, for all the outbound links on curated content, do we have to use nofollow attribute on all of them? Is it okay to do this for all the outbound links? Thanks, guys. Okay, so Henry, inside the training, I go over that very, very, very thoroughly, because it's really important to know when you're curating content from your money site, I recommend that you nofollow all external links. And I just do that for all of my money sites, guys, unless I'm linking intentionally to something that I want to pass equity to, in which case I'll leave it as do follow. So because I always nofollow all my outbound links on money sites, I just put a plugin on the site. There's many plugins that will do this, but one of them is called like nofollow external links. Another one's just called external links. There's a ton of, all you got to do is go to the inside your WordPress dashboard, go to plugins, add new, and then go to the search box and type in nofollow external links. And you'll see a bunch of different plugins come up. Just pick one, install it. And what it'll do, what those plugins do is will just automatically add the nofollow attribute to any outbound link, any link that links to something off page or off site. Okay, so it just makes it's brain dead simple. And then what I'll do is from, sorry, I just got notification on my phone, guys. What I'll do from there is if any outbound links on the money sites get nofollowed, if I'm doing curated content for link building, in other words, if I'm curating content on private blog networks or Web2s or something like that, then I always keep all links to do follow, because otherwise you're leaving a footprint, right? Here's the thing: if you've got a private blog, if you got a private blog network site or your own network of sites, and you're using them for link building, I still recommend using curated content. It's a much better content method. It's higher quality content. You're going to be giving a lot of the signals that Google's looking for by linking to relevant, high authority type content. It's reinforcing the topical theme of the post itself. But the thing is, you want to leave all link building type articles with do follow links. And I know traditional SEO will tell you, no, you want to no follow everything except for the one do follow link back to your money site. But that would clearly leave a footprint, because if you're posting multiple posts on that same blog and all the links are no followed on the blog except for a select few that are left do follow and they're all pointing to your own money sites, that's a footprint. So I recommend that for any off-page link building using curated content, you leave all links to do follow. And for any on-page or on money site blogging using curated content, you leave all external links to no follow. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. And that's all inside the training, guys. I've covered that really, really thoroughly in multiple parts inside the Content Kingpin. Tim Edwards says, I have, by the way, drop a link for that if you hadn't yet, Adam. I'm pretty sure you did, but.
Did not. Let me look that up.
Content Kingpin, yeah. We got a lot of really good feedback from that course. So.
Yeah, I just got to make sure, because we did it ourselves where we put .com instead.
Yeah, it's .co,
sure
contentkingpin.co. All right, Tim says, I've generated a KML map for a client. Where do I add that on site and add to the schema? You mean a KML file, Tim? If it's just a KML file, you just upload it to the root of the server, to the root of the domain. Just upload it to your server. So it would be, domain.com/KML. I mean, that's typically how a KML file is. I don't know about a KML map. I'm not familiar with that term. But a KML file would usually you just upload it to your server. And that's really an old school tactic. I don't know how effective that is anymore. That's something I did like 4 or 5 years ago, where we would generate a geo sitemap and a KML file and upload it to the server. And then the geo sitemap, you basically, let's see if we can find some of this stuff real quick. Geo sitemap generator. This is something we used to do years ago. I don't know how effective it is anymore. Now that we have schema, I don't think it's nearly as important. This was pre-structured data days, guys. Like pre-schema.org. This is what we used to do for local, and it was very, very effective. But now that we have structured data available to us, I really don't think this is necessary. I stopped doing this several years ago. If anybody has any data to say that this is still valuable, please let me know, because I just really stopped doing it ever since we started doing structured data. But yeah, anyways, if you just do geo sitemap generator, same thing, geo sitemap and KML generator, here's another one, and they'll give you instructions, but basically you just upload it to your server. So you upload the KML file to your web server. You see that? And a geo sitemap, all a geo sitemap does is it's a sitemap that points to the KML file. That's all it does. It just gives Google a way to locate your KML file. Okay.
Not necessarily going into the server, but Google Earth KML into RYS Academy, and I'm not going to say how, and then from that use it, because that creates kind of a slipstream where Google is seeing that you're using their properties to do stuff, and you know how Google loves itself, right? Mm-hmm. It's just one of the additional things that we played with in RYS Academy. And I'm really reluctant to share all my stuff because we have a bug inside our groups that likes to share our shit, and so I'm very reluctant. But I would tell Tim if he's in RYS Academy, reach out to me privately, because I know he's not the one sharing our shit.
Yeah.
And reach out to me, and then I can tell him what he can do if he wants that extra KML push for relevancy. But that's how I use it, relevancy.
Yep. Okay, but that's a great question, Tim. I mean, again, I haven't used a KML file, God, in at least 3 years, ever since we started using structured data on a regular basis. Jason LD seems to really give it the push that it needs anyways. So, Braulio says, recently my keyword planner started showing ranges for search volume. Yeah, Braulio, that's because unless you're an advertiser with Google now, they They just give you limited data for keyword search volume. And that's trying to force more people into the AdWords platform. I totally understand. Fortunately, I'm doing a lot of AdWords stuff now. But he says, what would you recommend besides paying for a campaign? Would there be a way to set up a campaign without ever having to pay? I don't know, Braulio. Honestly, I haven't tried to hack my way around that yet because I'm a paying advertiser now for multiple campaigns and clients and AdWords accounts. So honestly, I have all the data I need. So it's not something I've spent the time to do. Does anybody else here know of a workaround for that yet?
Yeah, I would tell him it might not work anymore, but I would tell him to go ahead and set his daily budget, set it as high as he wants. It doesn't matter, right?
Pause a campaign.
And then pause the campaign and see if it works around into giving you the information that you're looking for.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Set up a YouTube ads campaign or something, and then just pause it, and then see if that'll. I don't know if that'll free it up for you or not, but that's probably one thing that I would try, Brawley. I'm assuming you probably already tried that, but if you haven't, I would attempt that first. And then other than that, I really don't know what to tell you. I'm using AdWords so much now, like it just is, personally, I don't know. I wouldn't know where else to look. I don't really care about search volume for SEO terms for the most part. And I haven't for, a year and a half, 2 years now, because what I like to do for SEO terms is look, because remember, AdWords or the Keyword Planner, guys, is an AdWords tool. It's not an SEO tool. And so the search volume, things like that, it's different. It's not the same as looking at organic search volume. A better tool, which doesn't give volume metrics, would be Google Trends. Google Trends is better for actually finding terms for SEO than the Keyword Planner is, in my opinion. I think Trends is a better tool for that. And then obviously once I have developed my seed set of keywords, then I drill down on those that seed set using Power Suggest Pro or some other type of keyword suggest scraper. I just happen to think Power Suggest Pro is the best. And then they don't give search metrics either, or search volume numbers either. All they do is just return a bunch of long tails for my seed terms. But those are keywords that generate traffic because they're suggested phrases. And I know I've talked about this before, but the thing is, especially with mobile, more than 60% of all search traffic now comes from mobile. And that's why suggest phrases are so good, because when somebody starts to do a search on mobile, first of all, they're either speaking their search in, or if they're starting to type a search in, then half of the mobile screen is taken up by the keyboard, and the other half becomes the Google suggested phrases, right? And so there really is mobile search traffic, unless it's been spoken into the search, most mobile traffic comes from suggested phrases. And so that's why I like to use suggest terms, because even though you can't a lot of the times get any volume data on those terms, it still ends up being traffic producing keywords because people are searching for mobile and they just tap to complete the search string instead of actually typing it all out. And so suggested phrases are a huge traffic source. Okay. Clark says, when you are ranking videos for a production company, how many networks do you use, since you wouldn't know in advance what niche the production company was doing for a video? How do you brand your networks? Clark, that's a great question. But typically, what I did was I created several different types of networks. One was a contractors network, so that I could basically cover any type of businesses in the home services and contracting industries. Then I had another one that was a Virginia business specific network. So that was a bit broader. The common denominator there is the fact that everything was Virginia businesses, right? But it was broad enough that it could cover any basically industry as long as the industry was, the business was a Virginia-based business, okay? So that's how I did it. I also had a health and wellness network, and then I had a technology type network that covered things like mobile devices and electronics and things like that. So I've had multiple networks, and it's just because over the years I've developed so many damn networks, and so I had all of those available. How many networks do I use? It depends. For example, for the Virginia network, I think I had a total of 4 two-tier networks, maybe 5 two-tier networks attached to the primary channel that I was using for that. So essentially, a full 2-tier network, guys, is 4 rings. It's roughly 80 properties. And so if you've got, 5 of those, you're looking at 400 properties that your videos get syndicated to with just an upload or a live stream, which is beautiful. That's why I love those IFTTT networks, guys, because it's hands-free. Once it's built, it's hands-free. And so it really just depends. Clark, you know, theme your networks. If you're starting on a budget, then I would recommend that you go with something broad. Like if you're going to stick within a particular city, you could theme it network based around just that one city. But if you plan on expanding outside of that city, then I would recommend theming a network around your state, right? Because then you could cover any businesses in your entire state. And that's where I would probably start. Although, and you know, if you're working with video production companies, that's what you're going to have to do, because you're going to have to be a bit more broad to begin with. Because like you said, you don't know which clients you're going to get from the production company. It's going to be all over the map, all over the industry map is what I mean, right? So you can't really niche down in that case. If you want to niche down, which is how I recommend, if you're going to go directly to business owners instead of through a production company, then I recommend sticking with a particular niche, because then you can get really hyper-focused on your network as to what the niche is about. Okay. But start off with just a broad network based around your city or state, and just continue building that one out. And then you can always kind of silo through playlists, which again, always use playlists, guys. So, you know, if you're doing a location-based network, whether it's city or state, it's okay, it doesn't matter. You can start siloing by niche within that channel. Okay. And how do you brand your networks? Just come up with something. Come up with a brand. You know, you have to be creative in that regard. And just come up with a brand. Like I always use the Hangouts brand. I would like Virginia Hangouts, or you know, North Carolina Hangouts, or Carolina Hangouts, which would cover both North Carolina and South Carolina. I mean, that's what I always did, because I was when I first started doing this, guys, I would actually interview business owners on a Google Hangout on air, and that's how I started that whole business. But then eventually I moved away from doing interviews and just targeting video production companies that had the higher quality videos that they already produced, because I didn't really want to deal with trying to get the business owners on Google Hangouts and all that kind of stuff. It was kind of a pain in the ass. It worked well, but it was kind of a pain in the ass. So that's why I moved over to doing the production company work instead. All right. Jay says, hi, I have a client with a Shopify jewelry store with hundreds of products. Can the IFTTT networks work with e-commerce sites? He has a blog, but it's on the Shopify platform, not WordPress. So if I had a subdomain and install WordPress and use that as a syndication point, would that work? Jay, that's exactly what I would have suggested. But I want the Shopify pages to rank and not the posts. How can this be achieved? Thanks in advance. What you do is within the posts, so you build a subdomain, put a blog on a subdomain, which is how I totally would have recommended that anyways, and use the WordPress blog as your content distribution engine. So you're creating posts or publishing posts to the blog, but within the post, you link to the pages on the Shopify site that you're trying to rank. Okay. Category pages are always good pages, because it will distribute, like what I mean is from the blog, if you're going to link from the blog to the Shopify category pages, that's always a good one, because it will distribute the link juice across all the items in that category, as opposed to just the one product page. That's one way that you can do it. But yeah, just use the blog, but build links from the blog post to the pages or the items on the Shopify store that you're trying to rank. All right. Here's a good one. Wong, I saw this one earlier. He says, Bradley, I've been joining IFTTT V2 for a month now. Last 8 days, I syndicated my first dating product review to a full 2-tier network, and 2 days ago it ranked. It ranked, everyone. That's awesome. My first ranking, first page, position 2, product name plus review with the IFTTT syndication network. Unfortunately, I still haven't had income report to report, but I get so fired up. My shiny object syndrome just upgraded from new product to new keyword ranking. New keyword is the shiny object I go after. Thank you, Semantic Mastery, for being so generous with such powerful information. Let's go to question. I think I already +1 that.
That's awesome. No, I like that ranking keywords is his new shiny object.
That's right.
That's awesome.
That's right. Well, good for you, Wong. Congratulations, man. Way to hustle. That's how you do it, buddy. My competitor has a YouTube video ranking for the keyword sexual decoder system review. Here is his YouTube video URL. Okay, I found that he has 1,000 plus spam backlinks to his video. In his video, which has 1,000 plus backlinks with keyword anchor, very, very tough to outrank. Is this video very, very tough to outrank? It may be. I don't know. Let's go analyze it for a minute because of that good review that he just left. Let's see. 20,000 views. That's quite a bit. Let's go see. Let's see. I think I have Majestic open already. I do. Well, Majestic isn't showing shit, but that's not
like you said, it's a bunch of spam backlinks.
bunch of spam links. Yeah, so Majestic's probably not picking up most of those.
How could he rank a video?
Yeah, it's interesting. So let's see. In this video, it says it's very, very tough to outrank. I don't know, because I don't know what the rest of the competition is like, because I know nothing about that particular industry. Is it going to be tough to outrank? Possibly. Can it be done? Yes, of course it can. You know, I don't know how much you'd have to throw at it. Like you just got started with IFTTT networks. I believe in the IFTTT SEO Academy training, Wong, in V2 even, there we had the advanced backlinking, advanced video ranking. In the advanced module section, I believe there's 2 webinars in there where I go through a lot of advanced backlinking stuff to rank videos that are just that when IFTTT networks aren't enough. And so I would go back and review those. They were both full-on webinars, like hour and a half long each, but it's in the advanced module, and there's some real ninja stuff that we do for the videos that when IFTTT networks just aren't enough, and can pretty much rank video for just about anything when you apply those other methods that are in the advanced section. Okay, so I recommend that. Also, guys, another we kind of talked about this just briefly earlier when Braulio was asking about the Google Keyword Planner. But remember, guys, set up an AdWords campaign for that video that you're trying to rank. Right? Set up an AdWords campaign, and you can drive traffic to your video through AdWords through 2 different means: either in-display ads, which are the ads that show up in YouTube search results. You can also actually drive traffic using the Google Display Network and have a banner ad that shows up on the right-hand side of a video watch page. It's a little bit more advanced because you got to get into the display network. But if you want to just stick with YouTube stuff, like specifically videos, I would set up an in-display ad, which would be the actual ad, the video that when they click the ad, it would actually play the video that you're trying to rank, right? And then there's also in-stream videos, which are the pre-roll ads, the ones that play before other people's videos. And you could have a call to action that when somebody clicks on that, it takes them to the watch page of your video. And what happens is by setting up the AdWords campaigns for those guys, that's kind of like a secret weapon that I use for ranking videos is AdWords, because Google tells you that they don't give any search, preferential search treatment to advertisers, but that's bullshit, because I've proven it many, many times where I've had videos that were just a beast to difficult to rank on page 1, and then I've set up ad campaigns. And now, what causes that to rank? Is it that you start paying Google and they give you preferential treatment, which they deny? Or is it that when you set up the ad campaign, your video naturally starts getting more engagement because people are clicking the ads, you're driving more traffic to the video, more people are watching it, which is engagement signals. So I don't know, maybe it's a little bit of both. Either way, it works. That's what I'm saying. So I would suggest that you also set up an AdWords campaign for that video that you're trying to rank, and that should give you a nice push too. But go back through the advanced section in IFTTT SEO Academy and watch those, and that should give you some pretty good ideas. Okay. I would like to submit an endorsement to you guys, but since I can't join the IFTTT SEO Academy Facebook group, we still haven't figured that out, what we're going to do with that yet.
Yeah, we've got that. It's a work in progress, so this week we're actually working on it. We started setting things up, but just so people know, we're going to be creating and migrating the Facebook groups. You'll see some info really soon, like literally tomorrow.
Okay, great. Is there a way for me to submit to you guys, or you have too much, or you don't need any more? No, we'll certainly take it, Wong. Just if you don't mind, send us a support ticket. Support@semanticmastery.com. Again, support@semanticmastery.com with a review or a testimonial, whatever you feel like sharing. We'll be happy to take it. Absolutely, we love hearing that kind of stuff. One last word for the public who are watching this. IFTTT SEO do work. In fact, it is much better than PBN. I've always struggled to rank a YouTube video and website. Today, seeing that I got my first ranking, my confidence is in SEO really boosted. Thanks again, guys. I'd +1 it again if I could, Wong. So thank you, man.
Yeah, can't +1 it anymore.
Yeah.
I can. There's 3. All right.
Okay, Paul says, hey, guys, I bought Content Kingpin and Tube Kingpin. I jumped in and did my first YouTube curated video. It's funny but serious. There's no question. Just wanted to say how much I like the training. Once again, great stuff. Here we go. Another one. Guys, let's +1 that. And I already have my first client that wants me to supply content, both video and blog content. Here's the video everyone can view, like, and share it. Cool. That's great.
Nice.
So we got 2 testimonials back to back about content Kingpin. Oh man, if I got to watch lying ass Hillary Clinton, I'm going to throw up. Excuse me. Let's not bring politics into this discussion. The name of the video I curated is Lie Detecting Barking. That's great, Paul. +1 that. All right, Skylands. It's a widespread tactic that companies link out to news coverage articles on their own websites when an article mentions or links to them. Is there any reciprocal link danger here, as I don't see much difference between this and local plumber and HVAC linking to each other on their own websites? That's a good question, Sky. But see, here's the thing. Because it's a widespread tactic, that's why I don't think it's going to be an issue. And it kind of makes sense, in my opinion, to do that, because if somebody's got kind of like a news article or whatever story posted on a news type of site, then that's kind of a high authority thing, and you would kind of want to reference that, because it's like you're borrowing authority from those sources because they mentioned you on a high authority source. So it's kind of like press release stuff, like linking over to a press release publication, a press cable, linking over to that when a new press release has been, and the press release has a link back to your site. I haven't experienced any issues with that being, I understand it's very much like a reciprocal link, but I haven't had any issues with that. And like you said, it's a widespread tactic. And I think that may be the case why, because essentially you're linking over to the authority source that is also citing you, right? That is citing your site. And so because of that, I don't think it's an issue. I haven't seen any negative effect from doing so, is my point. Doesn't mean it won't change down the road. I'm just saying, as it stands right now, I haven't seen. How about you guys? You guys got any input on that one? Apparently not.
No, I'm thinking. No. I'm thinking. Can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I mean, this has been like, here's what I think, that there shouldn't be any issues whatsoever when curating content or when linking to news coverage articles on their own websites, etc. That's exactly what Wikipedia does. They will have hundreds upon hundreds of internal links, and to, whenever it makes sense, because they are not stopping the bot. And the less you stop the bot from crawling the rest of the internet, sorts of saying, the more you're helping Google, and the more Google rewards you. That's why we insist on curation, and we insist on outbound authority links and those kind of things. And curated content has been around forever, because even big media outlets have been, they need to churn out content like crazy, and they have a staff of full-time journalists, and they still recur to curation. So I don't think there could be any danger here, Sky, not in the short term. Basically, at that point, you're using links not to pass link juice, but to point to other resources. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So whenever it makes sense, my point, whenever it makes sense, just do it. Now, there are huge networks of websites. I know there are a bunch of in English, and there's a bunch of in Spanish, that they will have like maybe 20 or 30 authority websites, take Survival Life, for example. They have like 7 authority websites, and they are completely interlinking each other. And I think that they are on the same IP.
Yeah, they're not even trying to hide it. Yeah.
No, they're not even trying to hide it. That's my point. We have a big network in Spanish that they have like maybe 30 authority blogs, like real authority blogs, real assets, and they're all under the same IP. They are hosted on the same IP, and they are linking each other like crazy, but they are not hiding it. Whenever it makes sense, just go with it. That would be my take on it.
Good answer. We got about 10 minutes left, guys, because we got to spend about 5 minutes getting ready for the Simon Daddia webinar that's coming up. And again, you guys are all welcome to attend if you'd like. That's coming up in about 15 minutes. So I'm going to try to roll through the next few because I know we didn't get to very many questions today. This looks like another testimonial. Ivan Lett says, I have a site for my business, computer repair, and I built a Tier 1 IFTTT. It ranked 1 keyword on the first spot in YouTube results, and I'm now on the second page in web results for another general term. Thanks for the tip from you guys. Another +1 there, guys. I'm so excited that I want to start a new SEO services site. Good for you, Ivan. Should I create a subdomain on my site for that service or create a new website? It's up to you, Ivan. If you're going to create an SEO services site, you might want to have it like a separate brand altogether. It's up to you. You just need to decide on how you want to brand it. If you're going to start providing SEO services to other businesses, which is great. If you're learning how to do it for yourself, why not? It's another stream of revenue, right? So, you know, you should just, you need to determine how you want to brand it. Do you want to brand it as like a division of your existing company, computer repair? There's kind of a relationship there, right? Somewhat between computer repair, PC repair business and, you know, online marketing. There's somewhat of a relationship. You need a computer, right, to do it. So you could do it that way as just another division, or you could create a separate brand altogether. It's entirely up to you. That's entirely up to you. I would personally probably set up a separate brand for that. But, you know, again, it's up to you. Congratulations, by the way. Brian says, I have a client with an over-optimized website with a fair amount of content, not ranking very well. Very old style site, high bounce rate, but it's still generating some sales, about $800 a month for a weight loss test. Bodytype.com. Recently, we bought an exact match domain with good search volume, bodytypediet.com, and are building a new site for her. We have to keep the test on the old domain, and we don't want to lose that traffic revenue going to it either, but the content we need on the new site is the same as on the old site. What should we do with the content on the original and or new site? Should we keep both sites going? If not, how do we phase out the old site, and how do we prevent duplicate content penalty on the new site? Thanks. Brian, what I would do is once you built the new site, I don't understand why you need the same content on both. If it's over-optimized, and again, is it the content that's over-optimized, or just in general the site's over-optimized, meaning the title tags are over-optimized, the content itself is over-optimized, all that kind of stuff. So there's some variables there that I'm not real clear on. If you were using the same content on both domains, then what I would do is once you made the new domain public is I would do 301 redirects from the old to the new. That's what I would do, because then you'd end up pushing all of the juice from the old site to the new site, which you said is ranking, well, you said not ranking very well. So you could do that, or the other thing you could do, which I don't know how effective this would be to leave the old site up and not do a 301 redirect, but do a page-by-page canonical to the new site. Because then at least then, I don't know how well that would work though. You'd have to test that. In fact, what I would probably do is I would probably just select a couple pages that are ranking fairly well on the old site, and then do a cross-domain canonical over to the corresponding page on the new site and watch it and see what happens. Because that way you're not doing it all in one fell swoop. You're just selecting a couple pages and testing to see what kind of effect it would have. And by the way, if you're using WordPress, the Yoast SEO plugin, that's really simple to do. On a page or a post, scroll down underneath the WYSIWYG editor to where the widget is, the Yoast widget is, and click on the gear icon, which is the advanced settings for the Yoast plugin for that post or page, and you'll see the canonical URL field. You just copy the URL that you want to pass, and essentially what you would do is on the old site, you would click on the post or the page, scroll down, click on the advanced Yoast SEO settings, and then you would grab the URL from the corresponding page on the new site and paste that as the canonical URL inside the old site. Okay, it's very, very simple to do when you're using Yoast. So that's what I would do. I would basically either do a redirect or set up canonicals and see if you can achieve the same results with the canonicals, which would be basically pushing authority from the old site to the new site. But I would totally try to not use the exact same content, especially if it was over-optimized. I would take a lot more care on the new site to make sure that it was optimized properly. Okay. Just a few more minutes, guys. Robert Noon says, hey there, guys. What kind of backlinks should I build to my IFTTT first tier money site? You mean your first tier network? I was going to use relevant Web 2.0 site networks to buffer the links. Then send quality links to Web 2s with GSA. Will this work best or not? Yes, that's basically what we do, Robert. We basically build links to our IFTTT, our first tier network properties. But the first tier links to the first tier network, so they're essentially second tier links, but there are we build links to the IFTTT network. So imagine that your IFTTT networks are the properties within the networks are your target URLs. So your first tier links to those are going to be what we do. We do it with GSA and also with like Turbo Web 2.0 and some other tools like that. And we just build a handful of links higher quality links to the IFTTT networks, and then we throw kitchen sink spam behind those. Okay, so that's what I would recommend that you do, is that you just make sure that that first layer of links to your IFTTT networks are fairly clean and fairly decent links. Then you can throw kitchen sink spam behind that. Okay. And yeah, if you've got access to all those tools, by all means, do it yourself. You know, if you don't, you can hire us for it, because we have the link building service for it's specifically set up for those networks, and citations and press releases and PBNs too. So it's good for all of those. And you could always buy a link building service from us and then compare it to what your own plan was and kind of model that if you wanted. It'd be a good way to do it. Kevin says, hey guys, what press release service would you suggest for premium traffic driving press release distribution, not junky SEO only type press releases, but solid traffic driving PR services? I see Newswire has $9.99 press releases that also include print ads and magazines, billboards, etc. Would that be worth it? I don't know. Newswire, I was using it for a very, very long time, but it started to become less effective. I'm not saying anything bad about them. I don't subscribe to them anymore. We are going to be releasing press releases within SerpSpace. I know we've been talking about it for damn near a year now.
Yeah, and the end is in sight, so I'm putting my neck out a little bit, but word on the street is end of the month.
End of the month. Well, I'm not going to hold my breath.
I'm feeling confident. I've told people it's coming before, but it's end of the month is a timeline, and I realize that things can happen, at least on the software side, but that's been the date promised. So.
However, that said, let me see if I can find... trying to find this.
Also, I think this is going to have to be the last one. We got to get going pretty quick.
PR Reach. This is the one. Yeah, okay, this is the one. This is rather expensive, but this is prreach.com. Pause that. Yeah, it's $297 for one press release, but this, it's been about 2 years since I used this service. The last time I used this service, it was $97 for a single press release. So it's gone way, way up, but it was a really, really good service. So this might be something that you can test. Again, it's rather expensive. That was kind of cool. It was rather expensive, but it was really good a couple of years ago. I can't imagine it's any worse. With the price going up, it's probably just gotten better. So check that out. All right. All right. I think that was it. Let's see. Just one more. I'm going to answer this one from Ethan, and then we'll wrap it up, guys. Just one, Ethan. Sorry, but we got to run. A few questions about Content Kingpin. I'm curious if the course is significantly different than your Content Curation Mastery course. I purchased that about a year ago. No, it's not. I mean, there is some differences, but if you purchased Curation Mastery, then you can get Content Kingpin for free. Just submit a support ticket. Just submit a support ticket. We'll confirm that you were in Curation Mastery just to verify it. And we can, we'll just make sure that that's correct. And if that's the case, we'll add you to Content Kingpin, and you'll get in your email login details. Okay. Also, I tried purchasing Content Kingpin yesterday, but I was redirected to a John Goodman FU video. That's awesome.
That's a great video.
How was he redirected to that, though? I don't understand.
I have no idea.
We'll need to check.
Yeah, I don't understand how that happened, but okay. Anyway, to purchase this still, I'd really like to get started using the strategy soon because my PBNs are itching for new high quality content. Yeah, Ethan, like I said, just contact us at support@semanticmastery.com, and just tell us what you just told us here, and we'll go confirm that you did have Curation Mastery. And once we've done that, we'll just send you login details for Curation Mastery, or excuse me, Content Kingpin, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, and also send the URL where you're trying to purchase, Ethan, so that we'll make sure what's going on in there.
Yeah, please do that. But in the meantime,
well, John Goodman is an affiliate of ours, so I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and drop this link on the page, and then we're going to wrap it up, guys. But this is anybody's curious about the John Goodman FU video, which this is a motto that we live by. So I'm just going to post this on here for your viewing pleasure. John Goodman POFU video, which is the position of FU. Go watch that when you get a chance. This is the position that you guys should all be striving for in your business. So go watch that and make it a motto. Live by it. So, all right, guys, we'll see everybody in a few minutes on the Simon Daddy Browsio webinar. We're looking forward to that. See you guys then. And otherwise, we'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone.
All right, man. Later.
Bye.